The best cue masters from Europe and the USA are battling it out for the Interplay Mosconi Cup. Europe were 15-10 ahead, needing a single win to clinch victory, but the Americans have been battling back. It all started with a win for Butero and Di Toro. Then came Dallas West. Lou Machine Gun Butera came back to beat Darryl Peach in a singles match. And last up, skipper Bobby Hunter and Mark Wilson won a sudden death final rack to make it 15-14. Europe just one match away from victory with 2 matches left. Pressure then on Steve Davis and Lee Kendall against Mike Gulyassy and Big D Dallas West. It's the second set. The Americans took the first 3-0.
And did you see that look of determination and desire etched all over Steve Davis's face? Do you think he understands the importance of this? Is he trying very hard, Sid?
Europe has won the
Etch
leg.
is the word.
Will break. First rack.
It looks as though Henry Moore
Second
had
set.
been getting chisel practice on that bone structure.
He wants this as badly for himself and the Europeans as anything in a long time. Lee Kendall breaking off in the second set, the opening rack.
Nearly got 2 down, but nearly's not good enough. Yeah. The cue shook, but the pack broke sweet. Nothing down.
And he's looking at the yellow one right now. Then he has to get back to the 2 and the 9, wedged together there. The 2 looks like it will pass to the 1 corner. And after the blue 2, he's got to get back up the other end for the
Great
red
shot,
3.
Jim.
And I'm not sure he can do that. I wonder if he might elect to try and take the 9 in here. Off the 2, this is going to take some power shot to get back for the 3.
It's running into the lip.
Always looked like it was going to be difficult, Sid.
Yeah.
The angle obviously wasn't there to attack the 9.
The American team there. Massey and his lady wife. And the captain, Bobby Hunter. Looking really uptight. I think if he makes the contact, it's in. Any slice is a good slice here. Can only hit it in one place. Bobbled off.
A chance for the Ginger Magician this. It's the red 3, the ball on. It's the 1, the purple 4 ball next, and then down for the orange 5 that Steve has just leaned over.
Well, I gotta admit, I had one slight, wouldn't say cynicism, wouldn't even say qualm when I saw in one of the biogs of the players that 9-ball pool is the ultimate test of mind, temperament and matter. But after 48 hours on the road to Samara, I now believe.
Steve with a nice angle. The Americans can only watch helplessly. He's going to bring the cue ball around the angles, back for the 9.
perfect, as they say on the Lower East Side. Sinks it on the Lower East Side.
And the Nugget looking a lot more pleased with himself. Both he and Lee Kendall, part of a strong European team that has done themselves proud. They've needed that 1 point for about 4 hours, and how elusive it has proved to be. And my colleague says closer to 5 hours. Well, it's been a long time, Sid.
No.
But man, that winning post
No,
has been
no,
moving
rotate.
steadily away from the Europeans.
Second rack.
Mike Gulyassy breaking off for USA.
Nothing down.
The long one. Very difficult shot.
Well, once upon a time, the longest day I thought was about a war movie. Not anymore. Here's the swerver shot. Was he gonna jump it?
Steve trying to bend this and jump it slightly over the 3. He's got to just go over the corner of it. Now he's gone away from the jump cue. Got his cue back, his pool cue. And he's elected to go to the top cushion, or bottom as we look.
Could be a hit and a hope. Got away with it there. Safety in mind.
A very
Ooh.
fast and anxious look to see if the 1 might have bumped the 7 into a plant for the 9, but doesn't look like it.
One
Well, they were
Match.
doing earlier on, but
was all they've
really.
needed
shouldn't really.
for 4 hours and 45 minutes, Europe. The Yanks have pegged back, to use a phrase from cribbage, or 5s and 3s. He's looking at the plant, maybe, hopefully. One set of the Americans looking to pull it, take it to the very last possible match.
The 9's in!
9's in! Brilliant!
Absolutely.
He took a long, long look. Worth it.
Fantastic shot from Lee Kendall. Didn't look like it was on from our position. Obviously, he knew otherwise. And look at the score line. 2-0 to Europe in the second set, the set that they desperately have to win. Have a look at this shot again. Just missed the double kiss with the cue ball. The 9 disappeared.
Join us for the rest of this fantastic stuff. Finity.
The third rack, second set.
A
Europe
strong
break.
cup of coffee needed. A shot of caffeine because we're still going to be here for a while. Davis breaking off.
And that rather quizzical look on Davis's chops. It's because he's heard that if this goes to the Americans, that'll be 15-15. There'll be a single rack between Jimmy White and Ludwig Jarrett. He decided. Check a single set. To decide it. So it would come down really to the wire. You can do without
Foul.
that.
Yeah, if you want to keep Jimmy away, you can do without that for sure. Cue ball in hand for Dallas West. I think Davis is laughing more at the prospect of Jimmy having to come out to play a best of one. But it's the blue two, the ball on right now. The purple four across the table and then back up for the orange five. And electing to play the six down to the bottom left. He's got a run through for the black eight.
Great shots. Didn't even need a snick on the rail. Well, they're wilting a bit, them lads, and my voice and Jim's getting a bit of crackling in it. Those two lads were here since 6 o'clock. No sign of tiredness from the players. Jim?
America.
Certainly not there. The big D cashes in the 9 ball and pulls one back. It's still 2-1 in the second set to Davis and Kendall. It's up to the Americans to try and keep this set alive. They took the first set, remember. And it's a best 2 out of 3 sets.
Yep. For nearly 5 hours, the European team have been trying to get just one game to lay hands on the Mosconi Cup. That's it there, behind Dallas.
America to break.
So, placing the cue ball exactly where he wants it, to the millimeter. Nothing down. Have a rush of blood for 2 minutes. It could be set alike easy. Needs an extremely thin cut here.
He'd be ill-advised to take this on. I think discretion, the better part of valor right now. Europe has been wavering, trying to get over the finish line for the last 5 hours. Right now, they've got to solidify their attack.
I like it, Jim. I've heard of firming up the back four, but never solidify.
Tremendous pot from Lee Kendall. Even he shakes his head. I don't think he expected to get that one. Might have had a bit of safety in mind, but what a good pot it was.
Well, if I was sat at home watching this, instead of making with the verbals, I'd want to see the very end. And in about 4 minutes' time, true fans of ball sports on grass or baize, the conclusion of this transfers to Sky Sports 1.
Just out for the purple 4. And right now, this is the chance for Europe, in the person of Lee Kendall, to take the second set. Everything there.
Well, I would fancy me to do fairly well with the lie of the balls.
You forget, Sid, I've seen you play.
Don't leave me juice on the beach, Jim. Don't trust what you see in practice.
The green 6, brown 7, then the black 8. And you know, right now, Lee Kendall is committed to keeping the European hopes on track.
Well, we've seen a lot of bother on the middle pockets, Jim. When I walked in 4 days ago, you told me as a rookie looker at this game, avoid the middle bags unless you have to use them. Has he to use it?
It looks here like he does, Sid. We've already seen him miss one pressure 9 into this very pocket. And that's what he's looking at right now. A very acute angle into the center. Wonder what he was doing up. He elected to play it the long way. It was difficult either way.
But he might have got a... No, he hasn't. Thought he might have gone behind the 9-ball.
He probably took it to the easier of the 2 pockets, but neither one of them was going to be easy given the circumstances. But neither is this.
Yeah, the contact here has to be feathery and precise. That's in about a minute's time. Going over to Sky Sports 1. As the Americans look determined to take us into a final set later on, featuring Jimmy White.
Back to America.
Going over to Sky Sports 1. In a tick.
Rack 5. Europe to break.
'85 Mosconi Cup. It's Europe versus America. And it couldn't be more tightly poised. 15 points to 14. The Europeans need only 1. We're in the second set. The Americans have won the first set, and it's deadlocked at 2 racks apiece in the second set.
There's been a battle going on for over 5 hours for Europe to get one single game. It hasn't happened because the Yanks have dragged themselves back over the past 5 hours. It's now odds on it being 15 apiece, and Jimmy White will be stepping up to trying to take a single set, possibly, in the match that would decide the fate of the Mosconi Cup at present held by America.
And right now, Dallas West has just had a stroll around the table. If he follows through with the yellow 1 here, he's going to be playing the 2 onto the 9. And there you go. He needs the control. He's elected to do that because the 4 ball and the 5 are locked up at the top end of the table. But this is a very difficult shot.
Blue. 2. The 9.
It's there.
And the rack
The 9 ball disappears.
to America.
And America has gone 1 rack ahead. If they win this set, then there'll be a 15-15. They'll have brought it to a tie.
Dallas. Rack 6, America to break.
At one stage, Europe had their knuckles half on the trophy, but for 5 hours those knuckles have been wrapped as the Americans have come back like Rottweilers, possibly to take us to a sudden death set featuring Jimmy White later on.
Foul.
The babyface Mike Gulyassy representing the United States. And it's cue ball in hand with the foul, and it's that man, Steve Davis of Europe. He can put the cue ball anywhere on the table he wants it. And right now, they trail the Americans by 1-0 and 3 racks to 2 in the second set. But the overall score, 15-14 in a race to 16. There it is. And the Europeans have been teetering from a 15-10 lead.
And just like the Roadrunner always stayed miles ahead of the bug-eyed coyote, the Americans have driven the Europeans bug-eyed with their tenacity. It's been 4 days. The tournament started at 2 o'clock on Thursday here in Basildon. The name of the game is Nineball. It's the sort of pool you see in The Color of Money and The Hustler, and the rules are extremely simple. You break off, you try to get the 9 down straight away. If you don't, you've got to progress to the lowest ball. You can make cannons, you can make plants, but the aim is to get to the 9 ball as quick as you can, any route you can.
The yellow 1, the ball on right now for Steve. He used it to plant the 3 into the pocket.
The object within each normal match is 3 sets. First to get 2 sets is the winner. Within the set, best of 5, but you've got to go 2 clear. So quite often we end up with sudden deaths. That's a 4-4, and they play only the 9th to the side. 1 set to the Americans. This Euro pair, Davis and Lee Kendall from Stoke, trying manfully to do it all. It looked as though it was going to finish at 21 minutes past 8. Here we are at 1:04 in the morning and counting.
And right now, Steve Davis is looking at the 4 ball. That's the purple one. And I believe he's eyeing up the plant to try and knock the 9 into the corner pocket. Well, obviously, it's gone awry.
Things looking sick because the Americans take this rack. It's dead level at 15 apiece. And there'll be a sudden death set featuring Jimmy White and Lou Butera, the bear against the whirlwind.
And a comeback of monumental proportions when they were 15-10 behind. But it's the big D, Dallas West. He's still got a dish up here.
People's champion, Jimmy White, is waiting in the wings. As a veteran, there'll be a veteran stepping up with Jimmy White soon. Lou Butera, 57-year-old, starting up at the moment. A pool room in Vegas, and he'll be taking on Jimmy White. It's amazing. In the last 5 hours, the Yanks have dragged back by class and experience to 15-15. Jimmy White's coming up to take on Lou Butera. It will be absolutely glistering.